All right, Kinder, here we go on the month of April. Here are the Bridges notes for the year, and keep on scrolling for mine. So calendar grid, it will talk about some mini markers to print off and have available. So here they are for you to go and get. Here are the patterns and stuff to look through to know of for the month of April. And then if you keep on going here, these are all the notes that I thought were good to remember for the calendar grid. So you would have just some pieces of paper ready to go, one labeled length, weight, capacity, and another temperature. And then each day that you show a calendar grid marker, so for example, the first one, you'd say, okay, what do we use this for? Have you guys ever seen this thing? Because it actually is used to measure length. So let's put that mini marker that we have on the paper labeled length. And in this picture, it's measuring a eraser. We're using a ruler to measure an eraser. So you could go ahead and try to do that with a ruler if you wanted to. But every day you're just pasting it to that specific paper. They also say if you're able to bring in a balance scale the second day, a set of measuring spoons and cups the third day, and a thermometer, they'll just be good for them to actually see it for real instead of just in the calendar grid marker. Another thing to note is to bring things in as the month goes on for them to measure, not with an actual ruler or a scale or measuring spoons or a thermometer, but to have them do it by sight and feel. So for example, you'd bring in 2 different jump ropes and you'd say, okay, what are we gonna do with these? What would we measure? And we are gonna measure length. We could measure the weight, I suppose, but it's gonna be easier sight-wise visually to measure the length. So then you're gonna put them side by side, end to end, and see which one will be longer or shorter. We could actually use a ruler to prove it, but we aren't going to do that. You might have a kid who's interested and you can let them. Then you bring in something that is heavy and something is light, so then they can just feel by lifting them up to see their weight. So they're like their own balance scale, okay? Then measuring capacity by doing just containers, different containers with water, and say, okay, I have these 2 glasses. Which one do you think holds more water? So then I'd fill one completely up, and then I'd pour it into the other one and see if they're exactly the same. See if they measure to be the exact same capacity, or is there a little more space left in one? Oh, I can actually put more into that one. And then temperature could be you having 2 cups of water, one being hotter water and one cold water, and then they just use their finger to say, oh yeah, that one's warmer or that one's colder. So that's just explaining it right there. Okay, so that is calendar grid in a nutshell. If you go to Calendar Collector, I thought this one was adorable. It's about frogs and toads. I guess it's sort of adorable, but I thought it was a quick activity you could do. Because you're just spinning a spinner to either land on green frog or brown frog or frog or toad. And then you're saying, oh, on Monday we got the green one, on Tuesday we got the brown one, on Wednesday we got another brown one, on Thursday we got another brown one. So at the end of the week, who's gonna win? The frog or the toad? You could do this all the 5 spins in one day if you wanted to. So you just do this one day a week and show a graph of which one and compare how many we got for the frog and how many we got for the toad. The equation paper is just to say every time you spin, you write an equation. So the first day I spun a green frog, 1 green frog. There are no brown frogs, so it's 1 plus 0 equals 1. The next day we spun a brown frog. So now I have 1 green frog and 1 brown frog, which equals 2 total frogs, but one of them is a toad. So I don't know how you say that, but 2 animals. Yeah, or are they animals? Okay, I need to go to kindergarten. All right, so that's the gist of Calendar Collector. Do as you will. The frog PDFs are there for you. I think you need to color one actually brown and some green, so you have that ready to go. Okay, I suggested maybe reading a chapter of Frog and Toad before you do that activity. They're just such cute stories, but you might not have time for that. You're probably already reading a lot of other things. All right, days in school. Just keep on keeping on with the count of the days in school by 1s, 5s, and 10s. If you're looking for other counting activities to do, they had some suggestions in April Number Corner. One of them is putting out 10 trains of 10 cubes, and you count by 10s to get to 100, right? And you touch each train of 10, and then you get to 100, but then at the end of it, you go, are there really 100 cubes? Like, if we count these one by one, by one, by one, by one, are we really gonna get 100? So then we literally break them apart and count them by ones. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's gonna take forever, but that's what they suggest, and actually do it. And then the kids are like, oh my God, it worked. Okay, and then again, do the same thing another day, but with bundles of 10 craft sticks. Now you have your craft sticks and bundles of 10. We count them by 10s, and we say, are there really 100 though, if we count them by ones? So make sure you don't mess up and actually put 11 in one of the bundles of 10. Okay, and then you pull them apart, count them one by one. And last time, have kids stand up, I like this one, and hold up their fingers. 10 kids in front of the class holding up their 10 fingers. And then we count by 10s, get 100, and then we say, are there really 100 fingers up there? So then we count those fingers and get to 100. So those are just some extra little things to do. Computational fluency, all about problem solving, word problems. So each kid is going to need a 10-frame mat and 2 trains of 10 in different colors. Here's a suggestion of your first frog, of course, problem. My suggestion this month would be to get some frogs in your classroom for pets. That'd be really cool. Okay. Then once you say the problem about the frogs, the word problem, then they try to act it out with their cubes on their 10-frame mat. And then they're talking out loud about what they did to get the answer, see if people did it differently. And then this little thing here, I just like reading through this. That's you then saying the story again while writing an equation on the board, and we all practice reading the equation and what it has to do with the story. Then this is just a more engaging way of coming up with the numbers and whether it's an addition or subtraction problem by using your number cards and a spinner. So you can read through that. And then here are the different types of word problems, so you know kind of what types to be trying to make up yourself, or you literally use these, okay? And then here's a PDF of a practice sheet that has 2 frog problems on it, if you want to use that. Once you've acted them out on 10 frames, the idea is to then move into just showing what is happening on a whiteboard. So now you don't have your Unifix cubes. How do we draw out what is happening in the story on our board without drawing frogs? Okay, we can just use circles for frogs, as you can see there, or we could use lines for frogs, okay? All right, then the last thing, number line, your number paths. You're introducing the 30s and 40s family one by one. What do we notice about them? And then you work through activities you have such in the past as you have in the past. Forward and backward counting, guess my number, roll a dice and hop on the number path. So we put all these down. We start at 31. We hop. If we roll a 5, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we wouldn't see this number. You would say, what number do you think is going to be here? Write it on your whiteboard. Okay, now we reveal it. Or you literally just hop there and we have to read that number. Okay, playing mixed up numbers. So you mix up the cards. You have some in the right places, some in the wrong places. You start counting at the beginning and stop whenever we get to one that is not in the right place. So 31, 32, 33, 38. What? That's not right. So we take out 38, we put it off to the side, we find number 34, we put it there, and then we keep going. We start again. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 30. Oh, what? Okay, so it's like that. All right, where am I? Blah, blah, blah. The last part, hopping on the number line with hop practice page. Okay, so there's practice page too if you would like that. All right, there is April Number Corner in a nutshell.